the Israel-Palestine thing, the history is so complicated and there's so much shit that it's kind of like a Rorschach where it's an ambiguous, because it's so complicated, it's ambiguous, so you can make of it whatever you want, you know?
Oh yeah, that's a really good point, man. I love that.
Warning, this podcast is for entertainment only and not intended for medical purposes.
So the Sally Ann study is you take a kid and you show them two dolls, right? One is Sally, one is Ann. And Sally has a ball, and Sally puts the ball in a bucket or in a basket, right? And then she leaves the room, and then Ann takes the ball and takes it out of the basket and puts it in her own box. So, right?
Okay.
You follow me? So the ball is now taken out. Well, then Sally comes back, and they ask the kid, where should Sally look for the ball?
Yep.
Right? And if Sally can say, oh, she should look for her own ball where it's not going to be, then she has achieved theory of mind.
Yeah, right.
Right? So this is a state, which is important because it means that you can detect false beliefs.
Yep.
Like, and I know I said I was going to be tone and I was going to be okay and I was going to be level, but like, dude, listen to me. I'm talking about two dolls and a ball, and I feel like I'm going to fucking attack someone, but it's okay. This is just like, it's an obvious, like, base state I have. I have this basic state. Like, okay, so, wait.
There's something, hold on, I gotta interject something. Okay, so the theory of mind thing is like being able to understand other people's mind and conceptualize, but then there must be like a theory of aggression where it's like you can like see emotional charge and not get caught up in it, or you just like the emotional charge, you can't like get back into a meta emotion, you just like fucking go and attack.
I clearly have this problem, right? The reason why I was getting so charged is this is the tip of an iceberg of an idea that, like, I struggle with because I can't quite figure out this phenomenon of what's happening to people in society as they appear to have some kind of a regression in development to where they're losing theory of mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
They're losing the ability to take into account the other's perspective, and then just like, why does it get you so wound up? Like I'm getting wound up for a reason, right?
Because people are getting too wound up.
Yeah, I'm wound up about the fact that people are wound up, and I'm like, hey, everyone chill the fuck out, or I'm gonna start fucking slapping people, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like, that somehow that's a thing in me. Like, if I see people getting wound up unnecessarily, I'm like, hey, dude, do not alarm the herd, right?
Yeah, totally. I think that's exactly right.
Don't alarm the herd or I'll fucking slap you, dude, because we need to stay calm for when a real threat happens.
Totally, right. I think that's a great point. And yeah, I think that it's like, if something starts happening in the world or on the news. COVID's a really good example. COVID was starting to happen and people started to get fucking freaked out and the herd got alarmed.
Yeah.
And so panic set in worldwide and everyone sort of lost their ability to think clearly, and we just handled it really fucking badly because everyone lost theory of mind and lost their shit, and this people freaked out in this way, so then these people freaked out in that way.
I think it goes further. My basic premise here, Dave, is that I am aware that there is something happening to individuals within our collective consciousness right now. And this may have always been the case, but it's just becoming really apparent to me that there is a phenomenon where even if you are very bright and you do this for a living, or like I was making reference to the chess player, right? Like the chess player is 4 moves ahead of their opponent, or they're calculating this many hundreds of potential moves, right? So they obviously can handle multiple perspectives, right? But so this executive functioning capacity is called shift. The ability to be focused on one situation, one emotion, one concept, and then transfer to another, right? So that's called shift. And to test that, there's the Wisconsin card sorting test, right? I don't want to belabor these tests, but that specific test is just a series of cards that has shapes, there's numbers of shapes, and there's colors of the shapes, right? And you have to match them up based on the response of the tester. Right? So you don't know what the pattern is yet. Am I supposed to be matching them by how many there's three shapes here, three shapes there, or the blue shapes go with blue shapes? It's so fundamental. It's so rudimentary. It's like the basic. It seems like a chimpanzee could do it, right? But it's based on the feedback of the tester. And as soon as the person gets it, somewhere along the way, you change the rules. Right? You remember this one? You change the rules, and you see how long it takes for the person to then detect, like, oh, we're not doing how many numbers there are. Now it's blue shapes with blue shapes, red with red. Right? Like that test. And I think, like, dude, we need I don't think we need one. I think situations like what's happening in the Middle East are an adult version of the Wisconsin card sorting test. This ability to shift from ideas, emotions, concepts, whatever the range is becoming, it's diminishing. It's hard for people to. It's harder and harder for people to do.
I agree.
Do you agree?
Well, I think that it gets harder for anyone to do when the emotional stakes go up. People just get a little bit more like, you know?
Ooh, yeah.
And when there's something emotionally charged like COVID or the Middle East conflict, like the charge, the kind of like fight or flight thing charge gets up.
Oh. So
like
you don't...
like neurologically, I could say that, like, when I'm calm and I'm in my calm rest and digest brain and the cortex I can kind of shift around fairly easy. But when it gets a little more survival brain, limbic system, it becomes a little more like I'm going to hold a gun to you. No, it's this way.